Hi, welcome back to the kitchen with me, Chef D. Today I'm going to show you how to make a stuffed pork chop recipe. So let's go over our ingredients and we'll get right into it. These pork chops are actually stuffed with a rice filling, so we're starting with cooked rice. We have some fresh spinach, of course our thick cut pork chops, mushrooms, onions, Parmesan cheese, red peppers, celery, garlic, heavy cream, of course some salt and pepper. So the first part of this recipe is making the filling for the pork chops. So we're going to start by sauteing our vegetables. Once our olive oil is nice and hot, we're going to go ahead and add in the onions and our mushrooms. Right now these look great. We have a really beautiful color on our mushrooms. So let's add in our celery, garlic, and red peppers. And we're going to saute these until they start to get really soft. Right now our vegetables are looking great, so we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'm going to add our fresh spinach right to the top. Now that our spinach is in, we want it to wilt, so it's literally going to shrink down like spinach does. Once it is completely wilted, we're going to add in our heavy cream. Okay, in goes the cream. That looks great. So this is the beginning stages of our filling. The next thing we need to do is take this hot filling and add it to a bowl with our cold rice and of course our Parmesan cheese. Now that the filling is done, we're going to set it on the side and work on our pork chops. Okay, because we're stuffing these pork chops, of course, again, you want to make sure that they're completely dry, and you're going to do that with a paper towel. So you're just going to put them on a paper towel and you're going to kind of tap and press to make sure there's no moisture left over on your pork chops. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a pocket. So if you could take a look at this pork chop, I've already cut a pocket in the inside to make sure that our filling can stay in there. So I'll show you how I did that. So you're going to take your knife and you're going to make one small slit right in the center. So right now I could barely get my finger in there, and you're going to slice again all the way to the bone, but on the inside. And if you need to get to the other part, just turn your pork chop over. And it's going to create a wonderful pocket for you to add your filling. So now that we have our pockets cut, we're going to season this with salt and pepper, of course, on the outside of both, as well as on the inside. So now that our pork chops are prepped, I do want to remind you we're doing thick cut pork chops, so we will definitely have to finish them in the oven. So just make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees. So let's go back to our filling. We're just going to give it a light little toss. And at this point, it should be cool enough for us to stuff our pork chops. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of this filling and fill each pork chop one spoonful at a time. And you want to make sure that your slit is big enough for you to stuff filling inside comfortably. Okay, so our pork chops are completely stuffed. You will have some leftover filling, but we're just going to bake it with our pork chops. So now we're going to saute the pork chops on both sides. We're looking for a beautiful golden brown color, and then we're going to get them in the oven. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and flip over our pork chops. Wow, that looks wonderful. And you can see that some of the filling is starting to bulge out just a little bit. That's totally okay. Just want to make sure you don't really squeeze it hard to make all the filling come out of the pocket. But these are looking great. Once you have this beautiful sear on the bottom, we're going to go ahead and add those to our baking dish, and then we're going to finish the other pork chops. So right now our pork chops are beautiful on the other side as well. So we're going to take and put them in our baking dish on top of the leftover filling that we had. You're going to take your pork chops and they're going to go into the 350 oven and they're going to bake for about 20 minutes. This is it. Our pork chops are done. They are beautiful. They are right out of the oven. You want to make sure that you use a thermometer to check their internal temperature. You're looking for 145 degrees. I know that you're going to enjoy this recipe, and I can't wait for you to come down and visit me at the Delightful School of Cooking inside of the Southern Food and Beverage Museum.